My name is Sinclair Barnes. I'm Strategic Marketing Director of Amadeus. The main trends are not in terms of involving of luxury travel, and where now travel is more of an experiential type activity. So no longer for the traveller, it's about price points online or offline. It's actually about the entire experience they're looking for. And really, when we get under the skin of it, the question we're going to be asking the delegates later today is luxury travel absolute or is it relative? I.e., is luxury a set barrier, or is the luxury for each individual actually relative to their own perspective, price points and activities? Okay. And how do you define it better? It's experimental like this, and how do you fit? And also, where you get down to it, luxury is no longer, and the discussion we were having last night, luxury is no longer about material goods. There's a hygiene factor of activity that you would expect, but actually the more and more, and seeing it here with the Conrad Hotel, it's all about the experience. And for us, the clear thing that we need to understand is, for each and every traveller, how much they want personal touch points to be real, i.e. people interaction, and how much they would expect technology to provide that service for them. And they should have always the point of choosing how they interact with the world and how they wish to be served as part of their luxury travel. In terms of technology and how much technology influences travel, I think it's critical. The very first, we're here in Portugal, the very first round-the-world traveller was Ferdinand Magellan 500 years ago. Travel has changed far more in the last 50 years than in the previous 500, and it's technology that's driven that change within travel. If you take it to the last 5 years, actually how travellers interact with travel and the ability to access that information with virtual reality and all the sources and the social media and the insight they get, such as the recommendations engines, all of those components are what people are filtering now in their activity. The question for us is, how much of that do they want to deal with themselves, and how much do they expect someone like a concierge service to fundamentally understand them and recommend and provide them exactly the travel experience they require for themselves on business or travelling with family or friends as part of that activity. But for me, technology is fundamentally at the heart of how we connect people and travel. I think what we're seeing in the world today in terms of the importance of trade events and activities, it's switched quite dramatically. If you think about the businessmen these days, how much they're connecting and how much they're dealing over what you call virtual reality or video conferencing, that suffices for a certain bit. But what we're seeing in the whole business travel world is when people get together, that's where they really do business. That's where they want the relationships to build up. That's where the trust comes in and the clear understanding. And certainly when you get that information, you're breaking down barriers and the ability to actually get very clearly to the point, understand what each of you wants and what's the win-win scenario between travel provider and travel buyer in what they're trying to deliver. And so I think these sort of events are going to be few and far between, but the actual value they bring is going to be far more rewarding in building that relationship, and not just a relationship, but as Michaela said before, actually trusted advisors you can go to ask their advice and guidance on your part of the business that's non-conflicting.